Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage. Well, today we're going to be out here doing a little project, and we're going to be using the Smithy and the welder and the old Tammy bandsaw, if it'll work, and several other tools. And what we're going to be working on is this. I've got a brand new bench grinder that my sweet wife, the beautiful baby doll, gave me for my birthday last week. But the problem is I've got this grinder, and I've got another vise, another grinder, another polisher. I've got probably about 10 things with nowhere to put it. You got to have a bench to put this stuff on, and I only have so much workbench, and that's like, you know, oceanfront property in this garage, man. This workbench is where it all happens, and I can't have it full of you know, grinders and vices and all that, you know. So I've got the old big vise, but I've got a little brother to it sitting back here behind me, and I've also got, you know, a lot of other stuff like that that just needs to be, you know, either sat, bolted down, mounted to something to use it. So what we're going to be working on today is we're going to take the Smithy over here behind me, and you can see the bench there. We're going to come up with a way of mounting these items to the Smithy workbench that you can remove them easy and put them away when you're not using them, and then bring them back out and just right onto this thing on the workbench. So we're going to get a closer look. You're going to love it. Alright guys, so this is some of the material that we're going to be using to make this happen today. And I know it's hard to picture what we're going to be doing, but you'll see it. So, don't know if you remember, this is one of those big plates that I got in my truckload of awesomeness the other day. This was in there that I got from Justin's place. This was cut out of one of those steering rods. Remember those? This is pipe fitting. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not. And this is some leftover material that I had out back. And so we're going to get to work sawing this stuff up. See if old Tammy over here cooperate, and then we're going to come back. All right, everybody. We've got the metal sawed up for the most part, and you know that takes a lot longer than people think. Sometimes you just spend a lot of time watching the bandsaw work. So I did that for an hour or two this morning, and got most of the material sawed up that we're going to use. This sitting over here on the table behind me. But right now we're going to get the Smithy set up, and I'm going to take this piece of 3/4 inch pipe that I got here and put it in the blade, and we're going to true it up on both ends. And then we're going to take this piece of material that we got out of the steering rod that we got from Justin, the old steering rods that was in the other video, and we're going to machine this down to this right size where it will just fit in there and turn free. Okay, so that's next. So there's a little part there, just a good piece of heavy wall pipe, and took and faced it off on both ends so it'd be true, and deburred it, you know, took that off the inside and the outside, and that's it, man. So now we're going to take that other piece, we're going to put it in the Smithy, and we're going to machine it down where it'll just fit in here and turn free. Alright guys, so this is the old piece of steering arm that I cut up and got a good piece of metal out of, and this is measuring right now about 0.880, and we need it to at least 0.830 to fit in here good. Alright, so we're going to chuck it up and get after it. Perfect. Alright guys, so this is what we wanted. We wanted to get that shaft there turned down to where it was a nice slip fit in that. That's perfect, that's all we need. So now I'm going to take this out to the saw and saw it off and bring it back in, face off and chamfer the other end just to make it look good, and that'll be finished. Alright, so we'll check back in just a minute. Alright guys, here goes what's next. You know, we've got this piece of pipe that we worked on earlier. And now what I need to do is, this pipe is going to go down into this metal and be welded in, okay? But I don't have an 1 1/16 drill bit, and I don't have a boring head set either. That's in the future. I got to buy that stuff. So I gotta improvise. I'm gonna take this 1/2 inch end mill and I'm gonna mill me a slot in the end of it here, back about 1 inch or so that this can slide up into it and then be welded in. So that's what we're gonna do next. I gotta locate the edge and come over and mill this slot in, and then I gotta flip it over and mill the identical slot on the other side so that this can slide in. Alright guys, so here's what we're trying to accomplish, is that I needed to mill a slot so that this piece of thick wall pipe can go up into that slot there, just like this, and it'll be welded in there, okay? I'm going to come in here with the MIG welder and weld that thing in. And here's the piece of metal we machined earlier, and this is going to go in there like that. And the idea being is that this will be attached to the plate that the grinder or sander, vise, whatever is going to be bolted to. These pieces here. This is what this is going to slide into, okay? And then it's going to have a nut welded on here and here with a bolt in it so that you can tighten it down with your wrench and lock this thing down. Alright, so next up we're going to put this in the smithy and get to boring, so drilling some holes in it. Let's talk about the welding portion that's coming up next. I'm at the point now I've done all the smithy work that I can do for the moment. I will have to come back in a few minutes and work on a little bit more, but for right now the next thing is going to be some weld. But we're going to weld that, we're going to weld these, remember this guy, and we're going to weld that in, okay, just like so. Alright, so let's get the welder over here and do a little welding. Alright everybody, so the next thing that we've got to do in this project is we've got to get our piece of plate out and the grinder out of the box, and we're going to lay out the holes. We're going to drill and tap those holes. We're going to drill a hole for this to set into and weld it up, and then it'll slide right in here just like this. I guess the next thing to do is to try to locate these holes, and I'm going to come in here with some punches and locate those holes. Then we'll put this plate in the smithy and get it clamped down on top of the the work table, and we're going to drill and tap holes in this plate. Alright guys, here's where we're at with this thing. It took a few minutes and I've got this plate here now set up in the smithy, as you can see, and I got my spacers here. Remember I mentioned them in a previous video, I believe it was the smithy review video, about I had machined some spacers that were equal heights. This is them. I got 2 tall ones, 2 short ones, and you can see, man, you got to have those with this machine. If you're gonna put your plate in here and you're gonna drill some holes, you need those spacers, so they work real good. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my center drill in here and my tap drill and my tap, and I'm gonna go ahead and locate these 4 holes here and get them center drill, drill and tap, and then this hole in the center where the pin's going to go, that's going to be the last hole we do. Alright? So let's get after it. Got the plate done, and we're just going to bolt the grinder down to it. You remember we tapped those holes in there, so all we got to do is just screw the bolts in and
get them down good and tight, and that grinder's going to be on there. Then we'll take and put all the little extras onto the grinder that come with it, the shields, the guards, and all that. All right, guys, we're all done with our little project. You can see how it turned out, and the idea was to, be able to mount something on this Smithy workbench that's removable. It's very versatile, and it can be used for more than one thing. In this case, we've got the grinder mounted, and in later episodes we're going to take more plate and we're going to make attachments for like the vise or for my sanders or whatever. But the idea here is that you can just loose a set bolt that's underneath here, and this just lifts right off. See, just like that. And what we can do is make another plate with a pin for the vise or for the sander, and those plates and the pins, they'll live on these different items, whether it's the grinder or the vise, the sander, a different grinder, a polisher. I've got about 10 different things that need to be mounted somewhere, but this way I can just build me a special shelf that all this stuff lives on, and then when I want to use it, I just go pull it off, stick it in into the receiver here. The pin slides in there. You just take your Allen wrench, tighten your little set bolt up there, and she ain't going anywhere. See that? When you get in here and do what I need to do, and then when I'm done, I just take this thing off, just like that. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this little video, guys, and we're going to be making more videos in the future about this, mounting the vise, mounting the other things that we got, and making and applying new receivers on different places on the Smithy bench so that these things can be moved around, put in different places, and then when you don't need them, you just take them off, put them away. Well, hey guys, come back for the next videos. We got a lot more coming up.